Welcome back to Steve's Project Car Garage. My name is Steve, and this is my 1969 Triumph Spitfire named Tanker. Tonight we're going to be doing some more working on trying to get that heel board ready to be removed. Now there's a couple of things that we need to do first. One of those things is to go ahead and actually remove the radius arms, so that way we can get that part of the suspension connected from the heel board. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and try to remove some paint to be able to find out how many spot welds there are that's holding this guy in place, and if we have time we're going to dive into removing some of those spot welds. I did some preemptive work trying to figure out what we're going to have, and it looks like there's a lot of spot welds holding this puppy in place, so I got my work cut out for me. That's not a question. So anyways, grab yourself a cup of coffee or a cold beer, sit back and enjoy. Alright, so before we get started here, I just figured I'd let you guys know that we're here in Florida, obviously, and it is pretty warm tonight. It's about 85 degrees, and I don't know what it is in the garage, but it's warm. So if you see me starting to sweat almost at the beginning, that's why. So just bear with me here. So what we're going to do to get started, though, is we're going to go ahead and get the car up onto some jack stands, so that way we can safely get underneath the car and access these radius arms. It shouldn't be too much work, fingers crossed, but we'll see what we got. So let's get cracking. So the first lift really wasn't big enough to be able to go ahead and actually get it up high enough, so I'm going to go ahead and swap it out and use my bigger one. Much better. Well, as you can tell, this thing is just being absolutely stubborn. So, I don't know. I'm going to end up taking a different approach. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lower part that actually connects to uh, the rear suspension. We'll see if making that come loose will go ahead and allow us to maybe get the bolt out. Got the nut off, which is great. That was a little bit of a challenge. There's some heat though, really, kind of fixed that up. But the whole thing with trying to get that nut out or that bolt out is going to be a challenge. So let's keep cracking. Oh. Oh. What do you say? Time to get the grinder? I think so. Well, that was easy. Now let's see if I can actually get the bolt out, though. Let's see. It was moving pretty freely earlier, so I'm thinking it should come out. Yeah, see, it's wiggling out nicely now. I may end up just having to do the same thing on the other side, I don't know. I honestly have no qualms about doing this to some of these bolts. They are obviously very old. They have been worked on multiple times. And prior to my getting hands on them too, a lot of them were pretty round. So it doesn't really break my heart all that much to have to resort to these kinds of extremes. And hardware is relatively inexpensive. This is all commonly found stuff that I could find at like an Ace. So it's not the end of the world if I have to cut off a couple of bolts. And this seems to be popping out. Let's see. Give it a couple blows with the hammer. Here we go. Now, see if I can get the other side. What do you say? Grinder time? That was a lot of work. That was a lot of work. That was a lot more work than I was honestly really kind of thinking it was going to be. This is part of the reason why I kind of want to do the suspension stuff while the body's off the car. It's going to make access so much easier. But we got the driver's side done. Now it's time to go ahead and move on to the passenger side. So let's get cracking. All right, well, that was a lot of work. I definitely was able to go ahead and get the other radius arm off. It was a lot more work than I wanted to do, but hey, you know what? It's part of the job. On the passenger side, I ended up just saying screw it, and I went ahead and grabbed the angle grinder and I just cut everything out. That's probably the best decision that I've made all night, to be honest. The driver's side's done. Obviously, you saw that too. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start wrapping things up, honestly. It's 10 o'clock at night, but I do want to go ahead and show you guys the situation of the spot welds on the heel board over here. So let's take a break. So for those of you not familiar, the heel board is this section here. This whole piece. In fact, this is actually the replacement heel board. So this heel board had some really botched welding that was done on it. And it was all surrounding the radius arm brackets. These are what hold the radius arms in place. And that's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing this whole restoration, is because I did not have any confidence whatsoever in that welding. And the job itself looked pretty atrocious. So everything on this car, for the most part, spot welded together at the factory. And so there's a lot of spot welds, I'm assuming, that's going to be holding this piece all together. We're going to have spot welds that come down along here, I'm sure, spot welds that come along here, and originally there were spot welds that probably came along here. My plan, when I get to doing this, is to go ahead and just kind of take the angle grinder and just cut this whole piece out, right? Because I'm going to be replacing the floors. I'm going to cut along here, and I'm going to maintain this center tunnel. The center tunnel is not going anywhere. But I want to try to preserve as much as possible. So this is where I definitely would like some advice from you guys who have done this in the comment section. Please let me know if my ideas are crazy or not. But what we're going to do is just kind of grind away the paint here with my abrasive disc, and same along here. And we're just going to kind of find out what the scoop is as far as how many spot welds we're going to have. I have a spot welding tool, but I want to know if I'm going to need 800 bits or not, and we'll find out. Alright, and as I expected, there is definitely no lack of spot welds. Take a look at that. So, looks like they had a spot weld just about every inch coming along here. Same down here. So, my plan is to drill out those spot welds. I have a little spot welder cutter that I'm going to be using that I got from Amazon. I cut those spot welds out. I don't mind cutting this to pieces because honestly, I'm replacing it. But the idea is I want to preserve the piece of metal that's behind it, as well as back here, because it's my assumption, and I got to do some research, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a flange for the tunnel piece that kind of comes up, which is what this is spot welded into. So if possible, I want to go ahead and preserve that flange. However, it does look like this is also kind of welded along here, or that could also be some kind of like body filler or something that comes in here, so I have to do some more digging. So my plan is to remove the entire thing, right? So the whole heel board to be removed all the way across and replace it with that nice new one. Now, my other thought is to go ahead and cut the new heel board and just weld in the replacement pieces here. And so that's kind of where I want your advice. Please tell me, drop in the comments, let me know if I should go ahead and remove the whole heel board or if I should just cut out the bad and replace it with good. Now the other thing is that on the other side of this is a little bit of a tunnel. It's like a C-channel. And on the end, that C-channel is in a little bit rough shape, but on the inside, it looks good. So I really don't want to damage that too much, but at the same time, I just don't know what to do. So please tell me, give me some advice. All right, so I'm going to be wrapping it up for the night here. Again, I really appreciate you guys subscribing. If this is the kind of content you like, please by all means go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like, click the bell to go ahead and get notifications. I really appreciate it. I'm actually knocking on 200 subscribers right now, which is just mind-blowing to me. So thank you. Please give me some advice on that heel board thing. I really, really want to know what you guys think about that, because I'm kind of lost. And out of everything on this project, that's the part that scares me the most. So, yeah. And also, I just wanted to let you guys know too, I got a new camera, which is pretty exciting to me. Actually, it's just a new smartphone, but I've got a new iPhone 12 Pro, and this thing's pretty sweet. So it allows me to shoot 4K in both this view, which is the FaceTime view, but then also in the other view. So hopefully it helps with the quality of the videos. Outside of that, I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks so much for tuning in. Cheers.